Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to the Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. We're playing some Modern. That's right, some Modern. And the first big event was yesterday. SCG Philadelphia, Standard Modern Legacy team event. I was the Modern seat. And of course that was in the past, but I'm recording this from the further past. So, not sure what I'm playing yet. This is a deck that I'm considering. Ross Merriam and I have been talking back and forth about this deck, and what are we doing here? Well, they printed a really busted new card in Throne of Eldraine. I don't know how they thought putting the affinity mechanic, the cast spells from your graveyard mechanic, and the mill cards into your graveyard mechanic all on one legendary 2 toughness 1 mana creature was. But they thought that was a good idea. And here we are. This card is essentially a mixture between Stitcher Supplier and, I don't know, someone made a good analogy, I forgot it now. But this card's busted. Just totally busted. It literally does everything all by itself. It's basically just a 1 blue, 1/2 that taps to draw a card every turn and gives you card selection as well. And just unbelievable. Very good card. Very good played straight up. It's being played in Paradoxical Outcome decks, being played in Urza decks. I'm sure you could play this in like Affinity too, honestly. I'd like to explore playing Affinity and Legacy actually with this and some blue cards and Forcer Wills. But very powerful card. But we're using it a slightly different way. So of course it has a tap ability. And what's a really cool card to keep reusing tap abilities over and over again? Jeskai Ascendancy, a card that was pretty dominant in Standard and has seen play in Modern on and off as a combo piece. And this card essentially forms the backbone of a combo deck where all you have to do is cast spells. It's as simple as that. So we have an Ascendancy in play, we have an Emry in play, and we can tap Emry and cast a Mox Opal from our graveyard. Cast it for free, trigger Ascendancy, loot, pump and untap Emry, and then do it again. We can kind of just keep doing that over and over again until we find a Fatestitcher to discard. Now that adds another piece to the loop, where now whenever we untap everything, we can use Fatestitcher to untap a land or whatever else. We draw our entire deck and attack them with a very huge creature. And if necessary, Fatestitcher can tap down some blockers as well. So our deck that's the combo, and our deck is just full of cheap cantrips and artifacts to keep that ball rolling. I tweeted about a month or two ago that Mox Opal will no longer be legal in Modern this time next year. We are right on pace. Been on the watch list forever, but with Emry here and Urza here, oh boy. So Mox Opal, Mox Amber gets the start. A 0 mana artifact is already pretty good, and of course being an extra Mox for Emry is great. Mishra's Bauble, Engineered Explosives, Arcum's Astrolabe, of course one of the best cards in Modern Horizons, showing up in literally every format. 1 mana cantrip, fixture mana, perfect. Chromatic Star. Then we have Serum Visions and Thoughtcast to also trigger our Ascendancy and help find our combo, which is pretty good as well. And the one card Ross is a little higher on than I am, Witching Well. Not actually a cantrip per se, but cheap artifact. Scries, we do need a critical mass of artifacts, turn on Mox Opal and Thoughtcast, and then we can cash it in later. Good and fair matchups too, to try and get back the cards we need. And we also have Saheeli here, does a number of things. Obviously, if things aren't going well, we can just cast spells and make tokens and attack our opponent. But the cool thing with Saheeli also is the copy ability is very relevant. So if we have a Saheeli in play and start to go off, and we want to cast an Emry, we can use Saheeli to make one of our artifacts in play an Emry, so it is not summoning stick anymore, and then use that to go off. Can also copy Fatestitcher as well. So kind of a lean, mean take on an artifact combo deck. We could probably win with a nut draw on turn 2, but turn 3 is very reasonable, and turn 4 unopposed should be pretty easy as well. Nice light land count, a lot of gas, pretty cool. Sideboard has a lot of the usual stuff. Nice sideboard juke in Monastery Mentor. If your opponent has hate cards or whatever else, just board and Mentor and kill them. honestly. Making some monks with some Mox Opals. Sounds good to me. We have Galvanic Blast to kill Thalia or Eidolon on the Great Revel. Other hate cards. Wear and Tear handles the other class of hate cards in like Rule of Law, things like that. Kind of a cool thing is that Stony Silence is, while good against this deck, it's not lights out by any means. So that's pretty cool. Teferi Time Raveler, very good against counter spells, things like that. Timely, very good against burn, of course. And a couple little answers here, an Echoing Truth and to answer whatever. And we lost a card. We're missing Retraction Helix. Retraction Helix, kind of a catch-all. Also plays well with Ascendancy, where you can keep untapping and tapping your thing to bounce things, which is kind of cute too. So, definitely a more lean and aggressive and linear take on Artifact combo, which has been pretty prevalent in Modern right now. So let's hop in a league and see how it goes. All right, first hand is pretty good, honestly. We've got a lot of fast mana. We have Serum Visions set up. Keep this. Naturally, drawing Fatestitcher is not super exciting, obviously, but just gonna get an island here. And we're gonna cast Astrolabe. Sure. Mox Opal, Mishra's Bauble, Serum Visions. Top two are lands, bottom both those. I think we're happy cashing in these Mishra's Baubles. Let's start the first one on our opponent. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. And we'll say go. Let them draw their card. Draw our card. Plains. It's not all lands for a 17 land deck so far. Celestial Colonnade. Top card, Batterskull. That's pretty funny. So they're gonna draw Batterskull. Alright. Untap. Draw for a Bauble. Perfect. Okay. So Force of Negation or Bust, I guess? Huh? Cool. We've got a ways to go here, honestly. We need to do a lot of stuff to win this turn, but plays for 0. And discard a Fatestitcher. And I think we're gonna wait. We could explosives here. We'd be drawing into literally Mox Opal, and that is it. If we got a Mox Opal, we could possibly kill on turn 2. But I think I'd rather wait for Fatestitcher to be in play. So we're just going to say go here. Going for the turn 2 is pretty fun, but yeah, because if we explosives, we loot, we have to draw exactly Mox Opal. Even then, we get the loot and may not be able to go off anyway, so we're just going to wait. Mox Amber, of course, not on yet. Now they're at a point where they might need to not cast Stoneforge Mystic and just leave up Path, which is also fine for us, honestly. Nope, they're going for it. So we should be able to kill them this turn. That was pretty good. So first things first, we Fatestitcher, untap blue, and start ourselves with a nice little Thoughtcast. Best possible 1 mana cantrip there is. And discard land. Draw 2. Witching Well and Emry. So Emry does not have haste, of course, but that's okay. We're going to Witching Well first. Alright. Well, let's see. Decent amount of lands. Fatestitcher, Astrolabe. Okay. I'm pretty sure we can make it here. Also, the Fatestitcher will also, I guess I didn't fetch first. Maybe I should have fetched first. I don't think we need to do that, though. Untap this. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I can't cast Memory because there's cards on top of my deck I need. So we just explosives for 0. Discard that. Our top card is a... May have stacked that incorrectly. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th mana. We have to draw 2 off Witching Well, but if we don't draw a 0 mana artifact, we can't keep going. That's a problem. Okay. We also 1, 2, 4, pop this. Oh, I could draw a 1 mana artifact too, actually. So the question is, do we cast Emry to turn on Mox Amber? It doesn't really do anything. It just clear our top card. We know our top card's a 1 mana artifact, which is, we gotta fetch a land anyway, so I think we're going for it. Alright, so we pop the well. We're not going to cast the Emry. I don't think playing Emry really does anything. Okay, we hit. Good. Now we play Astrolabe. Trigger. Untap. Loot. Star. Perfect. Discard Emry. Resolve that. Draw. Another Emry. Sure. Untap that. Untap that. Play Chromatic Star. Now we're netting mana on every cycle. Ugh. That's not good. There's a non-creature spell though, so it doesn't hurt. I guess we could have kept an Emry to Saheeli and give it haste, but I don't know if we could even swing that. Let's resolve this. Untap this. Untap this. Now we have 1, 2, 3 mana. Let's float a mana off this and draw and see what turns up. Another Ascendancy? Okay. Well, now if we Saheeli, we get to make more mana. The problem is we need a cheap artifact to keep going here. It's 2. We can cast Saheeli and untap 2, but if we don't draw a cheap artifact, could be in trouble. Man, this is a long one. I guess the Mox Amber will be on too. Actually, I can cast Ascendancy with the Mox Amber. Okay. Okay. Make this white. Make this. Oh wait. Sorry. We're good. Everything's good. You want to turn 3 killer, you got to work for it, you know. Okay. So now we have untap Mox, untap Island. Saheeli's gonna make this a copy of Fatestitcher. Untap Plains. Yes. And then unearth Fatestitcher. Untap Islands. And now we have red. Place. I think that this game's pretty over now. I think we got there. Get a token. Untap my stuff. Loot. Flooded Strand. Not good, but still okay. Now we have a second Ascendancy. Untap this. Yes. Untap this. Untap this. Untap this. Cast Ascendancy. I guess we're just looting now, and we're not actually netting cards, but I think they're just dead at this point, right? We have a 9, yeah, so we tap this, and I think that's game, yeah, 9, yeah, that should do it. So, not the cleanest, but nice turn 3 kill, you know? Ooh. Let's do that. You know, let's have this video be us playing 90% of the time. Works for me. So now the problem, of course, is they're going to sideboard in things that interact with us, which is lame. So we're going to bring in Teferi Time Raveler, perhaps one of the best combo Planeswalkers ever printed. It's because it turns off counter spells and bounces their hate cards. They are playing Jeskai, so Monastery Mentor seems somewhat killable. So I might want to move away from that. It's funny because the Sunny Silence is good against us, but it's not like the end of the world. I'm bringing like a few wear tears, I guess. Cut the explosives. Doesn't answer. Stony. And then we got to cut one more card. Might just be maybe a Witching Well is the weakest card in the deck. Let's try this. A little concerned with Force Negation, for sure. We are fairly reliant on the card Jeskai Ascendancy, but again, I don't think I want Mentor because I imagine they'll still have bolts in their deck, so we can reevaluate for game 3. Okay. Opener is... I mean, the second Mox Amber is pretty bad, but this is turn 2 Saheeli. That's pretty good. Alright, we're going to keep. Just playing a Saheeli and making tokens is pretty good. That was pretty nice, honestly. Ceremonious Rejection, my Astrolabe. We're playing Legacy, folks. Alright, well, I suppose it's fine. I guess we want... Shouldn't really matter, but... Force Negation, pitching Snapcaster Mage. They have 3 cards left. That's pretty good. Definitely think this deck is less resilient against interaction than some of the other Urza decks, but definitely much faster. I mean, I think we're just casting this bad boy here. They've already blown a lot of stuff. Nice. So now we get to Witching Well, make a servo. What would change here? Snapcaster Mage. Witching Well is not a colorless spell. Witching Well is a blue spell, as it has a blue symbol on it. So, Shame Scoop in 3, 2, 1. No Shame Scoop. Okay. Astrolabe or Scalding Tarn. Bottom that. We'll keep the Astrolabe though. It's pretty good. And we'll just pass the turn here. We could Bauble them. We'll just say go and see what they're up to. We also have the ability to Saheeli copy. We can make our servo into a Witching Well and draw more cards, which is pretty cool. So we'll see what they do here. They are definitely light on cards at this point. Only have 2 cards left. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Sure. I think we Bauble them in response to a Brainstorm. Also considering Fate Sealing us. They are. Sure. I mean, if they want to bottom my 1-mana artifact that draws a card, got a few more of those in my deck. Deck's fairly redundant, aside from the actual card, Jeskai Ascendancy. So next turn we're going to make like 4 or 5 tokens, which is pretty awesome. Very likely we Saheeli copy a servo and draw some cards. They're going to bottom it. All right. That's what your top card is. A Remand. Remand, sure. All right, so draw Bauble. That was really good. That was really good too. All right. Just start with Thoughtcast. Yeah. Cool. All right. We are doing a lot of stuff here. Okay, so without an Ascendancy, we're not really doing anything with Fatestitcher yet, but it's not a bad card to have access to, of course. We do have 4 mana. We could theoretically pop, like copy Wishing Well and pop it to draw 2. But that would require burning a couple Mox Opals and stuff. That's honestly not that bad, though. Let's just do that. We get a servo for each one also, so... are certainly squatting up here. They only have one card left. Like, so we're going to float mana. We're going to make a copy of Wishing Well, and then we're going to crack it and draw some cards. All right, so we didn't draw a mana source. We can't cast our Astrolabe, but that's fine. Not really a problem. Now they can bolt the Saheeli, though. So that's a little bit of a downside, but we also have the ability, once we have a few tokens in play, to just play Ascendancy and just kill them, like, with combat damage, like, you know, the fair way. So that's a trick up our sleeve as well. So we are a little concerned now that if we can just cast Ascendancy, they can counter it. Which is certainly possible. Certainly possible. Alright, so they found the bolt and killed our Saheeli, which is not cool, but it's not the end of the world. They have 2 cards left. I'm pretty sure we are just casting... I guess if we cast Sense, you don't actually have any mana left over, because now our Mox Amber's off. Maybe minusing was greedy. It was 2 free cards, but... let's see what happens. They counter it, they counter it. Like, I only have 2 cards left. Remand, sure. Alright, then we're just going to slam it. Jace. Jace is dead in 2 turns, so... So Jace pluses targeting me, and they bottom it. Now they're going to main phase click me. So I assume they'll take Ascendancy, which is fine. Thoughtcast is also great, so... Alright, so we'll attack Jace again, play Ascendancy. We don't have our 4th mana to go off, but it's fine. We could also just draw cards this turn. We could Thoughtcast, try and find the land. We could Thoughtcast and Ascendancy while making a land drop. That'd actually be better. I mean, we can take this opportunity to resolve Ascendancy, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. No, that's not gonna help. Like, they gotta have basically Spell Pierce or Bus here. Alright, so you're up. So, definitely win next turn. Like, Detention Sphere, Big Teferi, I guess both answer Ascendancy. But for the most part, we have 2 Fatestitchers rolled up too, so like, we really are about to fire on all cylinders next turn. You know, they started this turn with 1 card in hand, so... Alright, to start. I honestly don't think it matters. It turns off 2 of our mana sources, but... Blade Splicer. Sure. Okay, so... I guess it does screw us color-wise. So we're light on blue sources. But... let's see what turns up, because I can't Fatestitch. I can't. I gotta get Fatestitcher in the graveyard before I can start using it. So we're gonna Thoughtcast here, and we'll draw Where. That'd be cool. Even just casting a few spells also pumps up my tokens, so that's great. So we're gonna discard I'd say Witching Wells. I'm sorry, discard the Fatestitcher, obviously. Alright, so draw 2. Lots of lands, lots of lands. Alright. Now we should be good for takeoff here. We can go fetch an island. And so we're going to Fatestitcher, untap a blue. Hold on. So you Fatestitcher, untap a blue. But then we can't Fatestitcher. I mean, we can't with the Chromatic Star. Sorry, this is figuring all this out on the fly here. I think we should be good to go, though. All right, so Fatestitcher, untap a blue. Yes. Chromatic Star. Trigger. Pump. Loot. Discard Fatestitcher. Yeah, this game's over now. So now we just have 2 mana. Now we have 2 mana creatures in play, and yeah, the game's over. Untap, loot, Emry, not really useful. Guess we don't need the land. We've already drawn. Where I put land this turn. Serum Visions. We can bottom both of these. Is a random 0 mana artifact better than a random? Actually, it might just be better. So we can just loot. Yeah, well, sure. I don't think it matters at this point, honestly. I think we can't really lose. Loot away Emry. Play this thing. Scry 2. Oops, I misclicked. Awkward. Whatever. Double misclick. Wanted to top that. Wanted to flip the order on that one, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. Discard land. Probably should have Visions first, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Mox Opal, sure. So these things are almost lethal already. Oh my god. Just trying to execute as fast as possible here for that's actually really good for TV's sake. Okay. Discard Fatestitcher. This is just a total clowning. Bounce that. Unlock all my stuff. Fatestitcher unearth. Yeah, whatever. Having a good time. All right, cool. Pretty convincing first match, honestly. Beat multiple counterspells. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Little turn 3 kill there on turn in game 1. A little more resilient in game 2. Okay. A lot of Moxin. A lot of Moxin. I think we're keeping this one. couple redraws here on the Astrolabe, the Mishra's Bauble. It's a good amount of mana. Basic Mountain. Rift Bolt. This is one of the other decks I am considering. Eidolon of the Great Revel does seem very, very good right now. Like, if they play an Eidolon on turn 2, I am concerned with our ability to win the game. Hallowed Fountain. Alright, events to the bottom, Thoughtcast at the top, that's pretty good. And the question is, do I want to cast things to play around Eidolon? The thing is, if we were playing around Eidolon, I don't even know if we can beat Eidolon anyway. In game 1, we have one Pyrite Spellbomb, and that's basically it. Let's look at their top card. It is a Monastery Swiftspear. I guess hard casting Fatestitcher is also not crazy. Yeah, we're going to push up play the Mox Amber. Thoughtcast gets around Eidolon nicely, so... Our mana base is relatively pain-free, which is nice. No Eidolon. No Eidolon. Crap. Alright, well, I'm not really sure how we win. Okay, I forgot we had those two. That helps. That helps. Because we can Thoughtcast and then just play explosives on 2. Eidolon ends up being a Boros Charm, which is definitely not good, but it's better than an Eidolon. I guess a Boros Charm, it makes us tap 4 mana. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Boros Charm. Burn player in the tank here. Turn 3. Do I want to Lava Spike you, or Lightning Bolt you, or Lightning Helix you, or Boros Charm you, or Skewer the Critics you, but only after Lava Spiking you, or Skewer the Critics you after Lightning Bolting you, or Skewer the Critics after a Lightning Helix? Interesting. So they are leaving up mana, which would answer a Fatestitcher if I tried to go off. But it's going to be difficult to go off anyway, and given the constraints of having to deal with Eidolon and so on and so forth. I think we're probably dead this game. We have to pop explosives and then play Serum Visions and then just kind of hope to get there and hope they don't have another Eidolon. Star. I don't think I'm really interested in those. We're going to second Mox Opal, aka Lotus Petal. You know your card's busted when the fail state is Lotus Petal, you know? And then we're going to Witching Well. I'm going to bottom Astrolabe. I'll top Thoughtcast. 2 cards is pretty good. And we'll say go and pray we don't just kill us, which is very possible. So they're probably figuring out if they can leave open mana to kill a Fatestitcher while also killing us next turn. Because they missed the prowess trigger, obviously, by waiting until end step. Maybe not, actually. So maybe they can't kill us. Sunbay Canyon's so good in burn, it's unreal. No, they're doing it again. Alright, so they definitely have mana up to try and kill a Fatestitcher if we try and go off that way. No, maybe not. Are we dead? No? 3? 3. Great. Well, in that case, it means they don't have a removal spell. Because they would just kill us. So, Ascendancy. Alright, Thoughtcast. I knew that was there. Not good. Yeah, I don't think those lands are going to do it. And if I pop the explosives on 1, it kind of kills most of our stuff. Maybe they won't kill us. Explosives on 1 literally turns off our Mox anyway, so I think our hope here is that their hand is literally just all basic land, or all lands. They attack for 1. We crack fetch, go to 1. It is exceedingly unlikely, but it is our only path to victory. Well, they're paying a cost, so we're dead. Yep. Alright. Matchup seems very tough. Seems very, very tough. Again, a big reason why I'm considering playing Burn this weekend as well. Is I don't expect there to be a million Emry decks, but I expect the winners metagame and the day 2 metagame to be pretty heavily populated by them. So as long as we get into day 2, that's called putting yourself in the position to win the tournament. Where you play a deck where it may not have the best metagame, best matchup against the overall field, which Burn might anyway, honestly. But you have a really good matchup against the winners metagame. So late in day 2 and then in top 8, if you get there, you're likely to win. That's the kind of metagaming I like to do. So Timely's in and Galvanic Blast is in. And what are we cutting? I mean, Witching Well is pretty slow. I'm also not sure. I mean, Saheeli is also kind of slow. I think I'm going to cut Saheeli too. I got to cut some non-artifacts. So we're cutting artifacts right now. It's possible Emry isn't great this matchup because it just obviously just dies to everything. But I don't think there's a better card. So let's try this. Heh! Oh, man. Well, this hand's really close to being good. But, not quite. And we're never going to see these again. Alright, yeah. You can't really afford a mulligan, so we're going to keep. We'll ship a Redundant Ascendancy, and we're just going to hope that our Serum Visions do us well. Opponent mulligans to 6 also. I mean, if they go looking for an Eidolon with the London Mulligan, we obviously have the answer to that, which is pretty good. Although we are going to Vista up an island, obviously. I don't think we cracked this, actually. And that's exactly why, because Mox Opal. This is great. We get to play turn 2 Visions into Opal into Emry. We'll have to play the explosives on 0, but that's fine. Ooh. Well, that puts a wrench in our Emry plan, that's for sure. Maybe we explosives for 1 now? Remember, they are light on. They mulligan to 6, so we are a little concerned about this recurring damage source. So let's just Serum Visions here. It's Emry, Astrolabe, Fatestitcher. I mean, we're a little bit away from actually casting Ascendancy, so I'm not sure if we're interested in Fatestitcher. I don't think we are. And then Astrolabe. I mean, I want to be able to either pop explosives or blast next turn. We're going to top this. Attacking for 1. Respect it. Respect it. Alright, well, there's your Eidolon. So we will kill that, and we will play an Astrolabe, I guess. We'll lose the Astrolabe to the explosives, but it's probably still worth it just to draw a card. Alright, it's fine. Could draw off Bauble, but nah, we're going to sack the explosives probably. I guess we're going to lose two artifacts stacking explosives. It's tough. I have an awkward low resource hand here, but that's what happens when you board in interactive cards. Oh my god. Alright, we're dead. I think we can only beat so many Eidolons. I should have drawn with the Bauble end step. Their top card is a Lightning Bolt. Scalding Tarn. Mox Opal. Yeah, I mean we are in big doo-doo here. They fire off Lobmancer, we're going to pop our explosives, I guess, but then we're off on everything then. Even if we drew timely, they still had the Skullcrack. Alright. Because if I explosives, like, we lose our Astrolabe and our Moxes are off too. But we're just, like, dead. I don't even know what we're drawing to anymore, honestly. We're probably just dead on this turn. But, yeah, Burn seems really, really hard to beat. They're just a very fast deck with incidental interaction for what you're doing, because their bolts can break up your combo, and they just have 4 of one of the best main deck hate cards in the format in their main deck. Alright, so that seems like a really hard matchup, and that has strengthened my resolve a little bit to want to play Burn, possibly. So that's a thing. 1-1. Alright, let's try again. Yeah, turn 1 Emry. Like, what were they thinking when they printed this card? You know? It's actually unbelievable. We are, blowing our load a little bit here for our Saheeli, but all right, we hit a Fatestitcher also. How lucky! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't want to draw. Probably. Verdant Catacombs? Alright, so they're not burn. Awkward. Okay. I definitely want to land a Saheeli. That's for sure. They're playing Verdant Catacombs. Are they playing discard spells? Most Jund decks don't play a mountain, or they only have 1, so it's very unlikely they just have mountain on turn 1. So, I mean, keeping the second Saheeli is... It's good if they're playing Jund, and it's terrible if they're playing like Valakut or some other deck that just wants to play a green fetch land. This is tough. This is a really tough one. I'm going to bottom it. We We have a Thoughtcast and a Witching Well, which both grind pretty well. So in the kind of awkward scenario of it being Jund just happened to draw their one mountain, crap. At least we have more card draw if they discard spell us. Scavenging Ooze? That's kind of rude. I mean, the thing is that actually resolving a Saheeli against Jund is so huge. This might be okay, but obviously Scavenging Ooze is very good against our Fatestitchers and our Emrys and things of that nature. Ren and 6 can also pick off our tokens kind of well too. And basically, I just want to draw any 0 or 1 mana artifact next turn. So I can play that, make a servo, Thoughtcast for 1, and go from there. Okay. Big draw step here. Big draw step. Any 0 or 1 mana artifact. Not quite. Not quite. So now, God. I mean, no, because Saheeli would die. It's funny. If we could activate Saheeli, I think we actually would be in fine shape. We could Emry, mill, turn Witching Well into an Emry, cast something, Thoughtcast, do all this stuff, but alright, I think we should have the Thoughtcast here for 3, which really kind of sucks. Oh, I'm sorry, I have another mana. I forgot Mox Amber was on, because this is a legend. That's pretty great. I still don't... Is it better to cast Emry first? I don't even know if there's a benefit to that, honestly. I don't think so. Yeah, alright. Alright, well, Thoughtcast for 3. Which kind of sucks, but... Divination's still not the worst against Jund, okay. Now we have an Explosives for 2. Which is honestly pretty good. Comes with a servo attached too, which is nice, so... Saheeli is certainly holding on by a thread here, but doing a lot of good work in the process. Wow. Nothing? Interesting. Serum Visions also ain't bad. Thoughtcast, Amber, Vista. I think we're going to bottom here. This Amber's pretty bad. And now we can Thoughtcast for 1, which is awesome. Thoughtcast is pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. Ooh, that was pretty not nice. I think we're hard casting our Fatestitcher here. We could pop the explosives and kill Scavenging Ooze, but like I don't think we need to do that, honestly. Also draw 2 off Witching Well. I guess I could draw a Mox Opal or a Mishra's Bauble and get more tokens. I could also copy this servo and draw cards, but if they have a Fatal Push or whatever, then that punishes me pretty bad, which is likely because they have stuff but haven't done anything yet. It's funny. I mean, if I play Fatestitcher, we just kill it and then exile it. Maybe just draw up Witching Well. I don't think killing Scavenging Ooze is really like a necessary thing to do yet. So we're just going to, I guess we're not going to attack either. I guess we can attack, because we can always end that Pop Wishing Well. So we don't need to Pop Wishing Well yet. So right now we have the ability to pop explosives or draw 2. If they play a red and 6 to kill my Saheeli, I can kill that and the Scavenging Ooze. I can block. If they somehow kill both blockers, I can pop the explosives. If I don't need to do anything, I can just draw 2. So this is interesting. A little Bloodbraid Elf action, maybe? Alright. Tarmogoyf. Liliana? Sure. It's also fine. None of these cards really do much against us. Still a little concerned because they have a push mana up, so I think we just double block and then pop the explosives. I would like to draw 2, but chump chump is not ideal, I don't think. Also might get them to use their mana. I guess actually I can't use Saheeli, it's only on 1, so I'm thinking of Saheeli as an enchantment, not a planeswalker. It's funny because now if they plus Liliana, I can discard the Fatestitcher, which is nice. Discarding Forest, sure. A little light on gas, that's what our Wishing Well is for. Wishing Well, whatever. Serum Visions. Okay, that's pretty good. Don't want to fetch. I don't want to hold the fetch for Liliana. So I'm almost positive they have Fatal Push. Because we could, like... that's never mind. Alright, I'm going to fetch. Ah, crap. Yeah, whatever. I don't know if we're going to need the mana or not, but I don't think our life total matters that much, so whatever. That's probably a little sloppy, but... Pyrite Spellbomb. Interesting. Bottom bolt those. Just gonna draw. There's a lot of Emrys, that's for sure. Alright, I mean, this is not like ideal. We're kind of like not doing, we're kind of like spinning our wheels a bit, but like we're like not doing stuff and we are doing stuff, so each player discards. We'll ship Fatestitcher. If we draw an Ascendancy, we should probably win the game. As long as we can get rolling. Alright, that's a Fatal Push on the Emry. Which is fine. Tarmogizzle, which is fine. And now they are out of cards. So now is our chance. It is our time to shine. I'm going to draw a Spellbomb first. Damn. It's game time. Alright, so We have 2 draws to find a 0 mana artifact. So the question becomes, do I want to just ship off these Fatestitchers and go nuts? I mean, honestly, we get to attack for a lot with the servos anyway. So I think I do. I think I do. All right, here we go. 2 looks at any cheap spell. That is a cheap spell. It's fine, we can untap stuff. We're good. We're good, no worries. They should be dead now. Explosives is also a cheap spell. Draw a card. Oh boy. Alright, that's game. Getcha. Cool. That was a cool game. Pretty cool to show some resilience against, I guess I didn't really play any discard spells or anything, but I guess I didn't interact a ton. They killed some graveyard cards, they killed a creature. They didn't interact a huge amount. You know, they had like discard spell, cold against command, or whatever, but it would have been a little different maybe, but... Alright, so yeah, we're in a spot where like, we're playing in a fair matchup, and I kind of want the Mentors, but they just died a Bolt anyway. And Bolt seems already good against us, so the Mentors seem kind of sketch, honestly. It's possible they have Collector Oof, but I don't know if that card's good against anyway. I think Teferi seems good here. I honestly don't know what I want to cut, though. Like, Spellbomb can go. And I want the explosives, I want this Thoughtcast, I want the Witching Wells. Bringing 2 Teferi as a catch-all. Let me cut a Mox Amber. Because our Emry is very unlikely to live. I can buy that, I guess. Not sure about Mentor, honestly. Like, it seems pretty good, but... Oh. Man, I did a 24-hour stream 2 days ago, and it's just killer. I'm just never doing one of those again. I even slept for like 4 hours. Nicole did the morning shift for me, so I did 20 of it 24 hours. I'm too old for that. I'm still messed up from it. It's been 2 days. No more 24-hour streams. You heard it here first. If I ever say I'm doing a 24-hour stream again, I want you to be like, no, Jim, and reference this part of this video and be like, this is you from the past. Listen to yourself. Don't be an idiot. I mean, this hand is super gas heavy. Which is what you want against being Thoughtseized. I'm going to keep. We have a bajillion scries, a Bauble to draw a card. This hand is not great. Like, if I knew you were playing against Tron, I would not keep this hand. This hand is only predicated on the matchup. But alright, I don't want another Ascendancy, and I don't want a Star. And I want to draw a card, but we'll wait until their turn. Alright, their top card is Bloodstained Mire. Snow-covered island is nice. Snow-covered mountain is fine. I mean, Teferi bouncing Tarmogoyf is pretty good. Mox Amber Scalding Tarn. I don't think I want either. Like, Teferi's not gonna live. I don't want to land. Fire away. Sarah is fairly redundant. Took it to Teferi. That's pretty interesting. So if a second discard spell, take the other Teferi. And we get to just play Ascendant. No. A second Tarmogoyf. Well, that certainly makes Teferi less appealing. Pretty sure we just play Ascendancy and say go and just try and do some work next turn. We could Teferi, bounce a Goyf, draw a card, gain 4 life essentially, and try and set up, but I think I just want to get the Ascendancy down. Like, we have a ways to go towards, like, winning next turn, but suppose they Blood Braid into Bolt here, we're dead. I don't know why I talk, honestly. So it's actually funny, if we had played Teferi, not only do we bounce a Goyf and not die, they can't even Cascade Bloodbraid Elf. Alright, well, I guess I'm an idiot. So let's go first for game 3 here. Maybe Teferi's better, I don't know. We're not really close to going off yet, but starting the loot train is pretty good. I'm not sure. Didn't play around land Bloodbraid Elf into exactly Lightning Bolt. Alright, let's try that one again. Oh boy, this hand's pretty bad. Again, Saheeli is one of our best cards against them, but these two Fatestitchers are almost dead. I don't think that hard-casting Fatestitcher is terrible against them, but this hand just literally doesn't do anything. So, unfortunately, we have the mulligan, which I really hate to do against a Thoughtseize deck, but alright, this hand is significantly better. What are we going to discard here? think it's close to being land, honestly. But it's probably just Fatestitcher. Opponent also mulligans to 6 and has Leyline of the Void. That complicates things a little bit. Teferi Ascendancy Island. I mean, I do want to cast Teferi on turn 3. Bouncing Leyline also isn't that bad either. But I think we're going to bottom the land. It's also a second island, so they thought he's my Astrolabe here. I can't really cast Ascendancy and stuff, so... awkward. Okay. Alright, I mean, we're playing Teferi on turn 3. That's cool. So nothing bad happens here. Dark Confidant, that's kind of bad. Alright, I mean... boy. Teferi, we got to Teferi the Dark Confidant now, because that's just the life we're living. But it's not that bad. And honestly, just get Ascendancy down and start playing creatures. They have like discard spell into Bob here. That makes things pretty awkward. Although again, honestly, hard casting Fatestitcher is not the end of the world. Ugh, that's gross. Fortunately, most of my hand is pretty reliant on the graveyard. I mean, we could hard cast Fatestitcher, but I think I wanted us to play Ascendancy. Get our loot on. We'll discard one of our Emrys. It's funny because hard casting Fatestitcher and then trying to go off isn't like out of the question. It's pretty good too. And we're certainly doing stuff, but I think I want to keep Fatestitcher in my hand to hard cast, so we're going to discard the Bauble. Funny. Alright, let's say go. I want this card back from Bauble. Bauble them on their turn. I guess we'll Bauble them after upkeep, so we can see what they reveal the card Bob. It's a Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. Let me Bauble the card they're going to draw this turn. Lightning Bolt. Alright. So they have a Bloodbraid Elf and a Lightning Bolt. The Bolt really throws a wrench in the Fatestitcher plan, unfortunately. That's not good. It's not prepared for Leyline of the Voids for sure. So I guess we're just playing Fatestitcher and saying go, letting them bolt it, and then just trying to do it again next turn. You only have one other answer to Leyline in our entire deck, so unless you draw Saheeli or Teferi, not really. Oops. I'm gonna draw a new card. Throw in my upkeep. I mean, that's a card. It's not a very good card. I think so we can pitch the Mox Opal. Let's see what we draw. My Kingdom for Saheeli. Alright, we got a plan, folks. We got a plan. It's not a great plan, but it's a plan. Maybe you still want Monastery Mentor in these matchups. The problem is it's just so hard because you need to keep a critical mass of artifacts in your deck, or your deck will cease to function. So, like, I'm not sure we would even board out. Colligan's Command? Well, that means our Fatestitcher plan is off the market. Kind of a worrisome matchup, honestly. Like, they just have so many different ways to disrupt us. Like, discard spells, removal spells for Emry and Fatestitcher, graveyard hate, artifact hate. Like, just a very, very wide swath of ways to stop us. Like, we won game one basically on the back of Saheeli, which we have not found this game. I mean, the Fatestitcher plan's off the market because they have a Bolt in hand, so we're probably just going to shit the Fatestitcher. Shit plan instead. Oh no, I forgot. You don't draw a card off Star with Leyline in play. Sphere you do, Star you don't. Oh boy. We're really dead. Don't think we had a way to wriggle ourselves out of this one anyway, so this is tough. Honestly, this is pretty tough. Like, they're deciding if they want to bolt me or not right now, which not a good place for us to be in. No. Shatter, discard. Jeez. Think we're in trouble, folks. Pretty sure there's no outs here. I mean, all the cards to draw, it's not a bad one. Alright. Tough game there. Tough game. Seems like a pretty hard matchup. They just have so many axes to interact on. Like Colligan's Command, discard spells, graveyard hate, fast clock. Just seems hard. Just seems pretty hard. 1 and 2. So that's not cool. Seems like both Jund and Burn are pretty hard matchups. The appeal of this deck over the other Urza decks is I think we're good in those matchups. So we're just faster. We can kill on turn 2 sometimes, but 3 often. And the Urza decks and the outcome decks kill on like turn 4 or 5. And kind of 2 ships passing in midnight. So I think that's the appeal of this deck over a deck like Urza or Outcome. But of course the downside is we're a little less resilient. And I suppose equally vulnerable to burn. Alright, round number 3. Same place. Bottom ball against the 6. Our opponents have all had removal for Emry so far, too. Hallowed Fountain. Okay. Just gonna rock Emry here. If they're playing straight blue-white control, then we won't be able to kill it. Just as a nice card draw engine, which is awesome. So, if they want to path it, cool. Imagine they have Spell Snare or Opt. Only real options that are reasonable. Sweet. Might just still be Island. All of our cantrips are blue for the most part. Look at the mountain. Some mill 4, nothing too crazy. Gaia Reach Sanitarium. This means two things. One, it means they're light on lands. Two, it means that they are playing Narset. Usually your colorless land will be the last land you play. Alright, we could just like Thoughtcast here. It's pretty awful as divination, so let's Serum Visions. Saheeli's great. Lands are fine. I mean, we're gonna rock Saheeli here. If they counter it, they counter it. Actually, maybe if we think they're light on lands, we actually don't want to do that because we want to wait and let them miss land drops and stuff. Well, we can just develop our board. I'm just gonna say go here. God, they have Narset though. Narset's a beating. We'll have to draw 2 in response and then Saheeli them. Alright, they're gonna shock and say go. I also don't think that hard casting Fatestitcher's off the menu either. I kinda like that. Mana Leak, my Fatestitcher. Best duress of all time. And they can't cast Cryptic Command. Fantastic. They can cast Narset. That's tough. Alright, well, we get to resolve Saheeli, at least, but Force Negation? God damn it. Oh, we draw my card draw spells. No. Narset's really good against us. Alright, back to the old hardcast Fatestitcher plan. Fatestitcher can attack Narset. You know, it's not the best path, it is a path. No, that's the best path. Now I can start Gaia Reach sanitarying among us. That wasn't bad. Okay, let's start there, I guess. I imagine they're going to force this. Oh, then we get to Fatestitcher attack Narset. You have to have another Path to Exile. Or Snap. Force pitching opt. 2 cards left. Alright, well, we're going for it. I mean, we're not a happy person right now, so. Go get him, Fatestitcher. Do the thing you were designed to do. Alright, well, we're going to discard a Thoughtcast. I think it's a draw a card. Adorable, cheeky little combo here. Each player draws, but I can't draw. So it's just 2 mana draw a card. It's relying on Narset actually being in play, though, so. Okay. So now they only have 2 cards left. Alright. Saheeli, do something for me. That's really good for us. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. So I kind of want Mox Opal because I can Mox Opal and then cast Thoughtcast. If Saheeli resolves. Even if it doesn't resolve, honestly. They've already cast 2 paths, but I think Emry's too fragile. I'd rather just draw more cards. Sweet. I'm just gonna cycle through all my stars here. Just draw a million cards. Those that don't know, you can announce Thoughtcast, which locks in the cost, and then sacrifice spheres to pay for it. It's pretty cool. Heh. Well, I guess I tap like an idiot. I definitely tap like an idiot. I just didn't think about that. Alright, it's still not the end of the world, but... Witching Well, Mox Opal, Serum Visions. Alright, bottom, top. I think I like Emry here, honestly. We'll just get this ball rolling. We get so much gas next turn, too. Guess I just milled these Serum Visions I scryed, but I think it's fun. Wasn't that good anyway. Shadow of Doubt. Players can't search libraries this turn. Okay. Sanitarium. Each player draws and discards. How about a Fatestitcher? Sounds good. Detention Sphere. Alright, I mean, Saheeli's done a good job already, so it's fun. Just find an Ascendancy and kill them, please. Can we do that? Heh. I would kill my Emry too. Alright, let's I'll just find an Ascendancy and kill them. Scry 2. Or another Saheeli? Yeah, sure. Fine, I guess we'll just do Saheeli again. Get back Astrolabe. Cast Astrolabe. Wishing Well. Sure. Could have like turned a servo into an Emry and stuff, but then I would lose my Emry, so yep. Each player draws and discards. There's my Ascendancy. I'm gonna keep the explosives just as like a backup plan. Yeah, this game's over. Speaking of backup plans. How about Astrolabe? Yeah, the game's over. They have no interaction. The game is just over. So, are they scooping? Is it scoop lag? Okay. So, beating counter spells just seems a lot easier than beating discard spells, and like more direct removal. We're gonna want Wear and Tears and Teferis, and they're playing blue white. So we got the Mentors too. So we got a lot of cards here. Jeez, what are we cutting? That's the problem I'm having, is that we can't cut that many cards. I think we cut the Stars. It's bad against Rest in Peace and Stony Silence. Still need to cut more cards though. Like, what do we? We do want Wear and Tear, right? To answer possible Stony Silence. Maybe Teferi just does that better. And like we can beat Stony with Mentor or Saheeli anyway. Yeah, I don't want to glut our deck up too much here. Definitely want Witching Well. Definitely want the Moxes. Maybe I can like shave a Fatestitcher because we're going to be going long anyway. And then maybe, I can't shave an Emry. Emry's too good. Maybe shave like a Mox Amber. It seems weird to shave a Mox. Like shaving, you can't shave that many artifacts. I said only have one Wear Tear, honestly. Just let it ride. Teferi bounces Stony Silence also, which is pretty big, so. I love the idea of going turn 1 Emry, then pathing it, and then playing a turn 2 Mentor. Sounds fine. It's not great, but whatever. It's pretty doable. Putting a lot of faith in our Serum Visions here. It's not bad. Oh yeah, Spell Pierce me. No. Mentor, Emry, Mishra's Bauble. They're coming to take me away. A lot of threes, a lot of threes. I think I want the Emry. I don't think I want the Bauble. I think we're just tap land go here. Not exactly the most explosive hand, but explosive hands aren't really necessary in this matchup. We're just trying to... Ooh, no land drop? That's gross for them. Alright, that's probably the game. So now we're not going to do anything, because why would we? We're going to... I don't think we do anything, honestly. Save a spell for Saheeli or Mentor, I think. I'm just going to get this land but tapped and say go. Just control, playing its control deck 101. If they miss land drop, don't do anything. Because their hand's 7 spells. Let them miss land drops and move to discard. Develop your mana base so you can double spell. Real basic stuff here. Yeah, I think we're gonna just once again not do anything. I'm gonna cast Serum Visions because that doesn't really get countered by anything anyway. So keep making land drops, but Thoughtcast, Flooded Strand, Witching Well. I mean, Thoughtcast is pretty far off. I like the land. Let's ship that. I guess we'll ship the land too. I'm gonna cast the Wishing Well too, so this might get mana leaked. If it does, whatever. Visions, Plains. Sure. This is why control decks play so many lands, because they never want to be in a spot like this. Starting Supreme Verdict. Card doesn't seem very good against us. Land. Alright, bottom that. I'm gonna keep the Bauble. I land. So there you go. I ain't got nowhere to be. And then I probably should shit the Bauble actually, because I want to. I think next turn I might start casting spells. I'm gonna end step pop the well, and I'm gonna start doing things. I think so. Like, we've already cast Hymn to Torok, and now we've cast a few against them. They discarded 3 cards already. Ah, shit. I didn't sack my well. Whatever. It's fine. Just keep saying go. Not a big deal. Colonnade, sure. Alright, so now's our big turn. Hopefully we draw a land here. We can double spell or triple spell. Jeez. Alright, we're going to play an Ascendancy. That's probably one of our worst threats. They probably have to counter it. And then we can go Mox, Bauble, Astrolabe, Emry. Yep. Yeah. I have a force too, honestly, but it's fine. I guess I could have held one of those, but should I check my top card and see if I want it, and then decline to cast Emry? That's kind of sketch. I like to get this Emry in play ASAP, so. Alright, well, it's pretty good for me. I might Bauble them, turns the Mox off, but I might do it anyway. We'll see what they do. Not having to deal with Emry, but also deal with the cards I have in my hand, so. Monastery Mentor. I mean, 2 can play that game. We're probably a better Mentor deck than they are, so. Alright, definitely drawing a card here. Path targeting Emry. Also fun. Now I get to play 1,000,000 spells next turn. So that's basic. Top card Island. Alright. Teferi Time Raveler. I mean, that's the card that they would have to force a negation if I want to start there. Let's go Teferi, they force it, go Mentor, Opal, Bauble. It's not bad. And obviously, if the Teferi resolves, the game just ends, I think. So I'm cool with that. I'm sorry, we should mentor first. Duh. Because if we mentor first, obviously they can't counter it or stop it. So let's mentor first. Force Negation has a blind spot, and that is creatures. Yep. Pitching rejection, which is fine. So they have 2 cards left, and we are a better mentor deck than them. And we have a bajillion threats in our hand too. So I would say we are not interested in playing another Bauble though. I mean, Opal. We also have Ascendancy too, so we can pump these things up big time. Their own Teferi. That's pretty good. They can bounce the Mentor. Sure. I mean, now our turn probably just becomes Saheeli, or Mentor Saheeli, token. Their top card is Glacial Fortress. Sure. The world really is ending out there. I think we are out of fetchable lands, which is kind of a tilt. Obviously, we draw another fetch land. Great. All right. It's not ideal, honestly. That was really a pretty bad sequence, but it's okay. Mentor. Saheeli. We can make a monk into a mentor and then play an opal and get 2 tokens. It's cute. Oh, I'm sorry. It makes artifacts into... I can make my Mox Opal into a mentor. That's pretty fun. Saheeli's pretty good. Saheeli does a lot of very interesting things. And we'll play a new Mox. It's still an artifact too, so I can cast oh, this is awesome. Why is it still an artifact? Oh, it's an artifact because it's Saheeli. This is awesome. This is a really cool turn. So now I can cast Thoughtcast too. Because this is a artifact Monastery Mentor. And we have Metalcraft because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts. This is dope. This is really cool. Celestial Purge Saheeli. Sure. I think you're a little late on that one. Draw 2. Thoughtcast Mox Opal. Let me double check the right of lands. We have Island, Mountain, Plains, Vents, Hallowed Fountain. I have an island left. I'm an idiot. Nope, no, I don't. Never mind. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3 eligible attackers. I think we just wait. Next turn we can Ascendancy and do a bunch of stuff. Like, we're obviously winning the Monastery Mentor battle here. If I cast another Mox Opal, I'm just gonna die. I could cast another Thoughtcast, but they have blockers anyway. Yeah, we're just gonna go for next turn. I'm gonna attack Teferi with all these. Because I don't think dealing them like 4 or 8 points of damage really matters. We're going to deal 100 million damage next turn, so let's just try and not get Wrath in mid-combat. And if they want to block all 3 of these, that's fine too. Like, we are pretty far ahead so far. We also get to loot a bunch with the Ascendancy, so these dead lands in our hand become spells, so we're going to keep that one. So they have 1 card in hand, and it basically has to be a Supreme Verdict, or they're dead. So we're going to do just enough to force that, and not go balls to the wall into it. So pretty easy. We're going to start with the Ascendancy. Trigger everything ever. We're going to Sanitarium in response, sure. It's pretty good for us. Probably Scoop Leg. Probably Scoop Leg. Alright, that was pretty convincing, honestly. That was a nice one. So the matchup against counter-spelly deck seems a lot better than the other fair decks. We're 2-2. Let's finish strong here. Plays. Just your average no artifact affinity hand, but plays. Serum Visions goes a long way. Temple Garden. Heh. Can kill Noble Hierarch. Alright, so Vista's gone. I think Witching Well's fine. Probably gonna go I guess we can't Emry next turn, but could in theory Spellbomb something if we have to. Ink Moth Nexus? Ugh. This matchup seems bad. They're playing Infect. We don't really interact with Infect at all. I can see Infect kind of come back in style a little bit because it does seem pretty good against all the Urza decks. The Urza decks don't really interact, and Infect's obviously much faster. This is really bad. We can try and Spellbomb the Glistener Elf, but our hand's kind of slow, and everything here is bad, basically. I guess what we're going to try and do is we at least burn 1 pump spell and try and buy a turn. Oh, alright. Yeah. In fact, with Spell Pierce, it seems like it would destroy all these Urza decks. Alright, well, I say it pretty please, don't kill me, I guess. Problem is, Saheeli isn't even good. Because they just have the Nexus also. If they don't have Nexus, Saheeli's okay, but yeah, my opponent is playing Glistener Elf. I do not want to be casting Witching Well. We do have 2 explosives in our deck, but Am I dead? I'm alive. Oh, that was cool. All right. So you're telling me there's a chance. They will blow up our Witching Well, but I think we'll take it, honestly. Guess we say go. I should have popped this on my turn, I think. Now they have an extra mana to pull up the Fire Up Nexus. Yeah. Yeah, that was a mistake. It's probably not going to matter, but... Thought maybe I could wait and like see what they do, but realistically, that's just not very smart. I doubt if I'll have a meaningful impact in the game as we were so far behind, but I'll blow it up now so they don't get the exalted trigger. But that was definitely dumb. I should have just gone for it. So now they have to produce +5/+5, and we're dead. And we have 2 affinity cards in our hand, and 0 artifacts, and the Fatestitcher. So, all the things that could be going wrong are going wrong. Either they can't count to 5, or we're alive. What? Okay, so they decided that they can't kill us, so they're going to play a Blighted Agent? No. It's a fairy. I mean, unfortunately, we don't really do anything here. Sure. I mean, we don't interact at instant speed anyway, so it does make Emry look dumb. Alright, well, that's a little better. Doesn't really do much. I mean, we can play it for 0 and Thoughtcast for 2. We play Emry, they're just going to bounce it anyway. Alright, well, I guess we are doing things. This Bauble's just going to draw. I probably should have checked my top card and then not milled it if it was good, but I think making them minus seems pretty important. So, top card was a Prismatic Vista, so no big deal. Did mill 2 Ascendancies though, and that's not good. I can't imagine we're not dead. Like, maybe they have scale up, so they couldn't kill us last turn. Yeah, I mean, kill me. Please, put me out of my misery. Yeah, we're dead. All right, you got it. That is more than 10 poison. We are dead. All right. Yeah, seems like a pretty hard one. We're gonna bring in our Galvanic Blasts. I mean, Teferi actually seems very good against them. We got to cut. I think we're going to cut the Saheelis. And probably the Wishing Wells. We just need speed. Teferi and Blasts. Leaving the explosives. Don't think I want Echoing Truth or Wear and Tear. If they have like Collector Oof too, man, that's a lot of stuff. But this seems good to me. Alright. I mean, the blasts look kind of nice. I'm going to keep. This is not really a great hand for us, but we can hope that they're threat light and the blasts just mop up their first threat. If they play a noble, we're probably not going to kill it. I'm going to fetch a duel with that Flooded Strand probably, so... Fatestitcher, Emry. I'm actually pretty down with Emry. Fatestitcher's not good, but Emry seems pretty good here. We can play that on turn 2. Ew. Emry Mills, Amber Explosives is pretty good, honestly. Little variety there. Nexus is good. Nexus is good. Honestly, hard casting Fatestitcher next turn doesn't actually sound that bad. We can't do that though. We're short an artifact. We gotta draw Mishra's Bauble to do that. Yeah, cool. In a tank. Someone was telling me that that Newmont the Nummy has some sort of software that edits videos automatically, where if there's ever a point in the video where the audio or video does not change for longer than like a second, it just cuts that out. So that last like 6 seconds you saw of literally nothing, me just sitting here doing nothing, them doing nothing, would have just got automatically edited out. I don't know if that's true or not, but it sounds really cool, so I'm gonna look into that. It's a cool idea. Alright, I mean, we're obviously killing the Blighted Agent. Well, now we can cast can cast the Fatestitcher, but we still gotta kill this Blighted Agent, I think. I actually would really like it if there were 3 artifacts in play, because then we could guarantee it's dead through a mutagenic growth. I can also do explosives from the graveyard. No, I can't. We're mana short on that. Mox Opal is not on. Alright, we're just gonna Galvanic Blast it, and if they have a stupid mutagenic growth, we can just do it again. Which really sucks, but they thought for a while about it, so cool. And I guess we want Mox Amber. I mean, it's our first time Emry's been alive. That's pretty cool. Literally just tap, draw a card out of your graveyard every turn. We've not drawn any card draw artifacts yet, though. Alright, Fatestitcher, I think you're coming to the party. And it's funny because I don't really have an artifact I want to play out of the graveyard. Putting explosives in play on... I think I put in play on 1, I guess. Apparently I cast it for 0. So I guess we'll just... I can't blow it up now. Oh, God, that's so bad. Oh, I don't know what I did. Obviously meant to cast it for 1. I just misclicked. God. That sucks. Alright, that's fine. We're good. Everything's good. Pardon my French. En français, s'il vous plaît. Je parle français un peu. Je suis bête. That's so annoying because we can't even put it in the graveyard by popping it as we kill our Moxes. They're moving to this is just a sloppy game. They're moving to discard. We're gonna start Rashad importing them with our Fatestitcher. We draw your Chromatic Star or something. Get this Emry like on the move. Oh, this is an embarrassing game of Magic. Alright, well, I guess we're freaking attacking, so... There's no point putting another Mox Amber in play. So, yeah, I guess attack you for 1. Your turn. Upkeep, Rashad, import your land. We're going for the breeding pool because we want them to activate Nexus. Cuts off their colored mana too, so... This is unreal. Alright. Our top 21 cards, there is no artifact that draws a card. Still tapping the breeding pool, I believe. They're firing up the Nexus. Exciting. There'll be no attempt on our part to interact until they do that. Sure. Uh-oh. Well, I suppose if they have double mutagenic growth, we are now dead. Alright, well, I guess we're dead, folks. Sorry. I mean, this has been a pathetically embarrassing game. Now they get to kill us for exact damage. Alright, you win, opponent. You got it. Yeah, match seems really, really, really hard. So, yeah, I mean, Ross told me going into this that both Burn and Infect seemed like terrible matchups. John seems bad too, so we really missed the mark here matchup-wise. I think this deck seems very good against all the other Mox Opal decks. Didn't play against those. Seems good against blue-based mid like fair decks also, and then probably really good against like Tron, Valakut, decks that aren't really interacting. We caught the bad side of the matchup sheet for sure. But a lot of power here, clearly. We did some pretty broken stuff. A decent amount of resilience, too. We also beat a Stony Silence, which is pretty cool. We're not that vulnerable to Stony Silence. It's obviously not great for us, but it doesn't turn off a lot of our key cards. And yeah, the Mentors are good in the board. The Blasts are good. I think maybe we're a little too heavy on the Wear and Tears. I would like to see some more more cards for the Burn matchup. Maybe a third, maybe even fourth Timely. But overall, deck seems good. This is a pretty interesting new take on Mox Opal in the format. Again, Emry, Lurker, Loch is pretty busted. So that's this video for this week. Of course, make sure you go to CoolStuffInc.com proper, where there's a companion article to this video. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, your next stop is CoolStuffInc.com. Check out the article where I go over the deck and talk about other stuff too, which I'm sure is very eloquent and well written. And also hop on over to CoolStuffInc.com. Go buy your Emrys, go buy your Witching Wells. Use promo code Jim5 for 5% off your order. Card games, board games, miniatures, it's all on there. CoolStuffInc.com. Check out my article last Friday all about New Standard and the most important elements in New Standard. And video Monday, article Friday, and I'll see you fine folks on stream or on YouTube as well. So thanks for watching. I am Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. I'll see you next week.